another Wild West day in the world of Magic the Gathering. We've got a whole bunch of Thunder Junction leak action, and the Karlov Manor crash is getting even crazier.
Magic. I am a wizard! History. I'm an old wizard! The magic historian. My bones hurt.
Greetings, owners of fine luxury cardboard rectangles, my friends. I hope the day finds you well, or at least better than me, because I am rough today. But the news waits for no man, and we are here for another epic installment of Mega Magic News. We have the wild situation that's going on with Karlov Manor. Things are ugly in a way I could never have conceived of. But before we talk about that, we're going to talk about the Thunder Junction leak action. Yeah, partners! So guess what? When I said this set was going to be shirtless Oko action as a joke in a previous video, turns out it's not that much of a joke. So much of the product prominently features Oko, and he is very, very shirtless. Frankly, I'm somewhat astounded at how much they're wrapping this around Oko. The idea is that Oko leads up a gang of villainous desperados, and they're planning a mega epic heist. So that's the flavor concept, but we've got a bunch of details in terms of the types of cards that we're going to be getting. So one of the special styles that we're going to see are breaking news cards. And as a newsman, gotta say, it's about time. But anyways, breaking news cards in every single play booster. So you get one in every booster, and the idea behind it is it takes a previously existing Magic card, brings it in as a reprint, gives it new artwork, and styles it as a news release where basically the spell itself is framed as a crime. This terrible crime has happened. Now, we haven't actually got to see what they look like, so I don't know what the execution's going to be like. It's got to be better than Karlov Manor, where all the cards just look like white cards, although I guess they could all just end up looking sepia brown like newspaper. But regardless, there are some people who are disappointed by this because they think that it means Wizards of the Coast isn't going to do those epic poker card styles. You may remember them. I don't even know how long ago the video we did was, like maybe a year and a half ago, where we had that leaked information where it's like, okay, what kind of different card styles are they trying out? And they literally looked like Magic the Gathering, but the 52 Let's Play Poker style cards, right? And so the thing is with these sets now, just because they're doing breaking news cards doesn't mean that there's not room for 15 more styles, right? Look at Karlov Manor, for example. There's 4 or 5 different styles. Same thing going on with Lost Caverns of Ixalan. So we know for sure breaking news is going to be a part of it. There's going to be 1 in every regular play booster and 3 in every collector booster. But they're saying that they're going to have in every collector booster 6 different alt art treatments per collector booster. So obviously they're going to need to have multiple styles. The poker cards seem like a really good choice unless they're planning to do some really insane secret lair where you get an entire deck in one go. I don't really know how they're going to try and work it, but I can't see a world where they don't do the poker cards, and I can't see a world where they don't do like most wanted posters, because we got all these different villains from the multiverse hanging out at Thunder Junction, presumably gonna rob a big old train, or it's got to be something bigger than that, I'm guessing. But either way, not sure what the heist is. Curious to see how it's going to break down. Wanted posters seem like an absolute given, right? So they're going to bring in the full art lands for this style will be Western landscapes. And as a tweak from previous products, the bundles are actually going to include some of these full art lands. You'll notice they didn't really do that in recent times. When they had the full art lands, they would just give you the regular versions in the bundle. So now I guess they weren't feeling as confident with this product. So they're putting 10 full art lands into the bundles, 5 foil, 5 non-foil. So you get 1 of each in both versions, right? That is It's an interesting tweak. It does say to me that Wizards isn't really feeling as strongly about how this is going to do. When it comes to a Wild West set, I don't know what the level of demand from people actually is for Western action. So, I mean, when I did an impromptu poll in one of my live streams, just based on my own audience, it looks like 2/3 of the people might be down with the Western set. So this might have some legs, but looking at all the different artwork from the packs and stuff, they've completely leaned away from any of the wow 6-shooter style stuff, right? They're really like, we're gonna do knife showdowns, and ultimately it looks like what's going on is Oko's rounding up his gang, and Kellen is probably gonna come in as like, I'm the law in this town, right? Sure, he's Kellen the Kid, and I'm pretty sure Billy the Kid wasn't on the good guy's side, was he? But either way, it looks like that's how it's going to go, because they have artwork where you can see Oko, and he's ready for a showdown, and you can see a hand of somebody, and you don't know who it is, but when you look at the hilt there on his side, absolutely Kellen. So it makes sense. Kellen finds his father, right? He's been on this quest to find his father. Turns out his dad's a villain. Father, no! So he's got to be Luke Skywalker to Darth Vader, but not nearly on that level, right? That is how it seems like it's going to go. We got some extra details from the commander decks that we looked at before. The 2 characters at top that I said that I couldn't recognize, that's because they're new characters. For the quick draw deck, we have Stella, who is apparently a marksman, and then the Desert Bloom deck that's a character named Yuma, who gave up his previous life to now take care of a little cactus man. And when I saw the artwork for that, I went, oh, they're trying to do the Baby Yoda thing. And they absolutely are, right? Take a look at the art. If you take a look at the artwork of it, it totally, absolutely looks like they're going for the Mandalorian vibe. And considering how awesome the first season of that show was, I'm not surprised they tried this, right? They do sets like, what, a year and a half, 2 years out? And this one, I don't really know how far out it is, because how do you decide to make Oko the main leader of this squad? Oko was a card that caused no end of problems and had to be banned in a ton of formats, and yet here he is as the shirtless head of this set. It's so bizarre. So, you have the set symbol is a cowboy hat, all right? So that's going to be on the spin down die. It's obviously, I mean, they're going to slap cowboy hats on everything. A lot of the artwork from Thunder Junction, let's be very real. When you look at just what we've seen already, it looks like they're just going to be slapping cowboy hats on people. Olivia looks like she's wearing her wedding gear from when she was getting married to the Markov. When she's getting to the old Markov dude, right? The Grandpa Markov. So there's going to be a bunch of cowboy hats just slapped onto everything. Now, in terms of the extra cards that they put in, they're doing not just the breaking news cards that I mentioned in every pack, but we're also going to have special guests on top of it, it looks like. It's not 100% clear whether the special guests are going to be part of the list, or there's a 20% chance of a pack having a special gift. The list has a 12.5% chance of being in the booster. So on top of that, you have the issue where Thunder Junction was originally supposed to have an epilogue set. So remember, March of the Machine had Aftermath. Thunder Junction was going to have Thunder Junction Aftermath because they thought that was a winning concept. So they're like, yo, we're going to do it again with Thunder Junction. But when they saw that everyone was freaking about it and was like, this is terrible, they pushed it all back into the set. Now, they haven't officially announced how it works, but it looks like all of the Aftermath from Thunder Junction stuff has been crammed into the list slot. So I don't know if that means an increase in list drops, but I am very curious to see what they put in this epilogue set, because it's supposed to tell the story after this set, and it doesn't look like the set's going to have like a huge story to begin with. So you just go, so you're making an entire extra set to tell us the follow-up story of Oko's heist and maybe him fighting his own son? Like, there's not been a proper lead up to the story for this. So I'm curious to see how they're going to deploy it. Oh, you know what I didn't mention? The breaking news cards can come in textured foils. And I like textured foils. That's one of the newer things they've done I enjoy. Etched foils and textured foils. The textured foils, they basically make it so you can like physically feel a difference on the card, and it makes different elements of the card stand out. They used to do something similar to textured, but it wasn't really textured. It was just like highlighting. I noticed it back in the day on cards where Chameleon Colossus, you'll normally only notice the actual gigantic Colossus, but all of a sudden they foil the artwork, they pinpoint, pick out particular parts of the artwork, like these birds, and you can see all these extra details that enrich the artwork. And that's something we've lost with this new era of foils. And a lot of the new foil treatments they try out, like the halo foils with the smoky swirls, they don't really land for me. But textured foils, when done right, are satisfying. But Wizards does have problems with those. Each time they've done the textured foils, there have been a bunch of cards that ended up missing their textures. So we'll see how that part turns out. Now, is that everything that we're going to talk about in terms of this set? Yeah, okay, so that's all of the leak information for Thunder Junction. Now we have to talk about the absolute insanity that's going on with Karlov Manor, okay? I already knew that this set was a dog. I've been talking about it for so long. Remember how I talked about stores sending the stuff back to distributors where they buy it and they go, okay, we can't move this, take it back. And the distributor's like, okay, we'll take it back for a 15% restocking fee. Well, guess what? Distributors are refusing to take the product back. Specifically, sometimes leaving people waiting upwards of a week to find out, hey, no, actually, even if you let us keep 15% of the money that you paid us, we will not take this product back. It's that bad. I walked into the local game store that I go to. These are Canadian prices, guys. Understand, compared to American prices, we pay a huge conversion because of the exchange rate between currencies. And on top of that, there are import like custom fees as well. So Magic is pricey. A booster box of play boosters, $210 is what Karlov Manor is supposed to sell for here. Stores pay roughly $170 to $180 to get a box, okay? So you're only looking at making maybe $25, $30 if you're lucky off of putting down all that money to begin with. And other games have way better margins. So now you go into the game store and you see booster boxes of Karlov Manor selling for way under what they originally were selling for. It's like, yo, will you give me $150 for this box, please? Now I'm losing money on every box I sell, and I need to find buyers for them. This is absolutely brutal. Distributors are refusing to take returns. Distributors are telling stores, yo, order exactly what you want. We're not bringing any more in. We're not going to have a backstock like we used to. The entire distribution model for Magic the Gathering and LGSs and distributors is in upheaval. Wizards of the Coast is going in with Amazon. And like, even if you just want to use American prices, American stores are going, okay, so let me get this straight. The distributor wants me to pay $117 for a box. And at the same time, Amazon's selling it for $120. So it's like, oh, I can buy it from you and mark it up by $3 to match Amazon. So there's nowhere to go in the middle, right? And LGSs are stuck with this product that at least before you could return, I'll just eat a 15% loss. Who knows how big the loss is going to be monetarily as it becomes this snowball rolling down the hill. You just go, okay, if people won't buy it at this price, knock it down. But then you got multiple LGSs that are all competing with each other in a race to the bottom. And this just eats away. This Karlov Manor, followed by Thunder Junction, all of this is absolutely going to lead to the end of a number of LGSs that were already right on the edge, because they're like, a lot of LGSs are projects of passion. The person running them isn't a business genius, right? They're just doing their best based on what's happened up until now. Wizards of the Coast products always sold. You could buy them, you'd have a reasonable expectation of selling them. If there's a problem, you can send them back to the distributor. But Wizards of the Coast has totally pulled the rug out from under everybody, going, well, we're going to get ours. Who cares what it does to you guys? We just have to make our quarterly earnings for the shareholders. So Karlov Manor is a rushed, poorly designed set that's super overpriced to the point where distributors won't take it back. Like, it wasn't that long ago that we were still in the era of distributors sitting on boxes and refusing to sell. The Double Masters 2022, we were still at the point where distributors would get in their shipment and then they would go, we're setting 25% of the shipment aside. It's not even for sale. You're only going to be able to buy it when it's gone up in price later on down the road, because that's what always happens with these things. But not anymore. Now distributors are saying, not only are we not buying extra of this, There's no way that we're touching this garbage that you bought. And they're having these internal discussions where they're going back and forth over it. It's not an instantaneous yes or no, we'll take your returns. It's, okay, you've put in a request for return, it will be processed, and then you don't hear anything for like a week, bro. That is not the norm. And then they just come around and go, well, yeah, we're not taking it back. It's your problem. You're left holding the bag. And this is a huge, huge problem for the game, specifically for LGSs. But my friends, I have one last thing I want to end off on that is really, really fun. I was sent a package by somebody who used to work for Wizards of the Coast. Somebody who actually used to design Magic the Gathering cards. So last night in a stream, I opened up this package and what was inside is absolutely wondrous. So if you've made it all the way to the end of this video and you want to see something really cool, then check out the link to the live stream that I'm putting up on the screen. It's over on my live stream archive. You can check out the insane stuff I was sent, because honestly, by the time I got to the bottom of the box, I couldn't even believe what was in there. Absolutely amazing. Anyhow, link on the screen. See you over there. Thanks for coming by. Big shout out to my patrons. You guys rule. See you all in the next video.